Vantage Point. This was first released in cinemas back in 2008 and was directed by Pete Travis. Basically, this is an action thriller. US President Henry Ashton, played by William Hurt, attends a summit in Spain to sign a treaty, but is shot by an unknown sniper. It is then tasked to Dennis Quaid's loyal secret agent character to identify that sniper and save the day. So basically it's a typical run-of-the-mill action film type story. Now in terms of how well this film did at the box office, quite well. It debuted at number 1. Though it lost that spot the next week, it still managed to sustain a decent cinematic run. The critical response, on the other hand, to this film was most definitely not a good one. And even now on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a score of just 34%, which is, to say the least, not good. But it's also a little bit unfair because this is actually an entertaining film, which begs the question, of course, why it has such a poor score. Now, I think there are a number of explanations for this. Firstly, people's expectations in regards to this film were set quite high. As for starters, the trailer was superb and actually won a Golden Globe for Best Trailer. There was also a stellar cast, as said. William Hurt and Dennis Quaid star, but also Forest Whitaker, Sigourney Weaver, and Matthew Fox also star in this film. But also, the real big selling point of this film is the unique narrative style. And I think this is really where the problem is. Basically, rather than in a standard film where the president would get shot and then we would simply follow the title character as he tries to identify the shooter and recover the president, in this film, what happens is we follow Dennis Quaid's character up until the point the president gets shot, at which point we go back in time and watch the moments up to the shooting take place again, but this time from the perspective of a different character. This happens a number of times before we finally once again move forwards a little bit in regards to the timeline. In terms of whether it actually works, though, after the 4th or 5th perspective change, the film starts to drag, namely because it is only reaching the point of the assassination and not moving beyond it. And considering there's not really much in regards to story or intrigue, the use of such a narrative style does seem questionable. But when the action takes off, it is inescapable that this actually becomes a surprisingly pleasing to watch action thriller. Nothing special, which is likely why it has received such a poor critical response. After all, you can't shoot a film using such a unique narrative style, load it with stars, not give it a really compelling story befitting of such a billing, and expect a good critical response. But ignoring that, as an action film, it is an entertaining watch. The only gripe I have with it when viewing it as a run-of-the-mill action film is how it ends. Now, without giving anything away, basically, rather than Dennis Quaid's character using his smarts to save the day, he gets lucky. Now, I have to say, I am not a fan at all of endings where the good guy only saves the day because of pure luck. It just screams of laziness from both the writer and the director. And I have to say, I believe this film, even as a run-of-the-mill action thriller, deserved a better ending. But basically, this is still a highly watchable and enjoyable run-of-the-mill action film, which is told in a unique way. And as Dennis Quaid and Forest Whitaker put in solid performances as the lead characters, that means all in all, this film gets a thumbs up from me. And if you're looking for an easy to watch action film, then this will most definitely fit that bill. And with that said, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe to my channel.